Hey everyone, back on the stream. We are seconds away from Pygame starting. So you just watched our 30-second timer countdown to our live stream. We literally have 30 seconds until they announce the topic for Pygame. So I'm going to have this up on my screen just temporarily. We're going to have a look at what the topic is, and then I think we're going to do some ideation, and then we've got the next week to build a game. So sound, music, art, and programming. We're going to be very busy. So 8 seconds. 5.
Let's see what it is. I'm really interested.
Starts in -1, -2. What does that mean?
This is interesting.
Submissions are due. Okay, here we go. So just refresh the page. The theme will be revealed when the jam starts. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it just started.
Yeah, I don't see the theme just yet. I know that there was voting. I might just check the Discord channel as well. So I might just have a nose in the background in that, see if there is a theme over there.
Maybe they accidentally used Node or something for their website. So there's nothing in the pre-jam discussion. By the way, let's paste that invite link for anybody that might want to join that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, there's no announcement in the Discord channel yet.
Nothing.
If anyone is interested, I'll post that now. That's interesting.
I do have a feeling we know what the theme is, though, because they did have a vote system in the forum.
Show us where the votes ended up.
Yeah,
we got a couple of little helpers today. Alex wanted to join. The other night, he was continuing to work on his app, and he said he really wanted to join today and see what was the start and what were the basis of the game that we were going to work on today.
What I might do is let's have a look at the Discord. So I will add the Discord to the screen share. You can see I'm chasing everyone. So the theme is definitely remake an old game with a twist. And that's because if we went into the polls section, you can see that the community had a vote a couple of days ago. And so there were 4 themes to pick from. There was remake an old game with a twist, and that got the most votes of 27. Randomness got 12. Teamwork / cooperation got 4. I did vote for that one just because I wanted to put something co-op into a game. Reflection got 7. So I think we know the topic. I'm going to assume, unless we're told otherwise, and I'll monitor the page in the background. But that kind of comes back to what are we going to do? So I've got...
Yep. I think that comes back to what we were sort of discussing the other day.
Absolutely.
Like that idea, I think, was really, really fun. We went down a bit of a journey of reliving some of the old games we played when we were like kids, and
reminiscing.
Yeah, and it ended up being like we sort of pivoted in on like Halloween Harry, like something to do with Halloween Harry.
Yeah. Actually, looking at the poll, the voting has ended. Remake an old theme with a twist has been chosen by the looks of it. So I think we just call it official and start up. Now, I was going to say, I'll get another screen up for you guys. We did talk about Halloween Harry on the stream before, but what I'll actually just have a quick refresher for everyone. I think there was weird history behind it because in Australia we called it Halloween Harry. In the US, it was called Alien Carnage. And I think I think we had the shareware version, and that was Halloween Harry. But if you order the full version, we'd get the Alien Carnage US version.
That's where I got confused because I did have both. I had the shareware version, and I thought that was Halloween Harry. And then when I ordered it, I thought Alien Carnage was like a booster or a new game, but it was all the same. So I just had the same game twice.
I actually never realized
for anybody that's
sequel.
there might be some people that might watch and say, "What's shareware?"
Oh wow! So going back to the 90s,
going back to when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
So shareware to me was something that arrived in a disc that I picked up from the computer markets.
Yeah.
And it would have like a limited version of the game. It was almost like the first few levels of a game, and then if you decided that you liked it, you could manually send in your details and payment to the company that had made the game, and they'd send you the additional floppies, and then you'd get the extra levels.
So for me, it was because I used to get onto the forums, or back in those days, you'd have to dial up onto the boards, but because you didn't have like the version control systems like we have today. Like, yes, Enterprise had them, but they weren't open source. We didn't have like open source communities all working on software. So shareware was a way of programmers like ourselves to like build a utility or build an app or build a game or something and share it with the world. And usually it was fully compiled, so you didn't get the source. It was your compiled version. You'd chuck it up somewhere for someone to download. And then the license was shareware. You can download it, you can use it, you can share it, and that's it.
Yeah. And I remember the discs would probably arrive faster than downloading it with 28K internet, right? Like I remember sitting there for half a day downloading shareware games when we finally got an internet connection.
I remember when I used to do the first multiplayer with the null modem cable. And copying a game with the null modem cable was slower than using a floppy disk to copy it between the two computers.
I thought it was awesome when I got a 56K modem. Could start downloading stuff faster.
Yeah. So I don't know what Alex thinks, because he's obviously slightly more new to us than us. But can you imagine downloading this game, Alex, for like 5 or 10 hours just to get this tiny little pixel art game?
How would that be?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It would be annoying waiting. How long do you usually wait?
Maybe like 2 seconds.
Yeah. The latest game he's been playing is called The Long Drive, and it's like several gig, and it probably takes, like 30 seconds to install or something. The internet's fast.
Yeah. So anyways,
where do you think we'll sort of start with this, or what's our bit of a take on the changing it up a little bit? Oh, and by the way, we should also say that we've got an extra member, Tom, that's going to help us out in the team with some of the music.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not here at the moment, but he's in the US and he's interested in doing some sound and music for us.
Yeah, so the first thing that I want to quickly have a look at, right? Like I played the game last night just in case the theme came across. The character has missiles. The character has rockets. The idea is that he's saving these babe office workers from alien zombie type things. The flamethrower is cool because it's kind of like it only goes out for like 5 centimeters on the screen or whatever. The missiles can go up, down, so it can shoot things from underneath of them. When you save the babes, you get points, but you also can get currency. They might drop some coins. You might find some other coins across the level when you kill creatures. Trying to remember all the mechanics, so like this will kind of help us. There was a time for the levels, so if you did the levels really fast, you would kind of score on the high scoreboard alongside your score itself. To finish a level, you had to find all the babes, if I remember correctly, and then the level would end. There were levers and a few other things, so you had to press like levers to open up sections of the level. You could go through pipes.
Vending machines.
Very industrial looking. Vending machines would give you top ups for your flamethrower ammo, or your missile ammo.
Power ups.
Yep. And what was health? Was there health here?
Isn't that the number 2 there?
The 2? Yeah, the 2 is your lives, and that's your health. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to build all those backgrounds and those levers and those ramps, so would we use, like, what sort of tooling would we use to do that? Is that pixel art, like that editor thing to edit the maps? Yeah,
so we would be building the level in tiled. So mapeditor.org if you want to go to the website. And that's available on all proper operating systems, so Mac, Windows, Linux.
All proper operating systems, so not Windows.
No, I did put Windows in there. I was nice. Yeah. I use Windows for games, but I don't use Windows for much else. I've had experiences. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, so
PTSD.
so PTSD from Windows. That's right. So and there were 4 levels in the game. Like, I think there were only 4 maps overall. Like, well, there were sub levels basically, but there were 4 themes. Maybe is the better way to word it. So if we were to create this, we've got to come up with a twist, right? So what I might do is I'll stop sharing that page, and I'm going to share this mind map tool that I've got. So I thought we could do a bit of the ideation through this tool. So the theme is old game with a twist.
So old game for us is essentially a platformer, but old game for Alex might be something very different.
What's an old game, Alex? Actually, what's an old game to you?
What's an old game, Alex?
Hmm?
Maybe. Well, he played the Lost Vikings. Remember?
Minecraft.
Minecraft. That's not old though, is it?
Old for
What's
him,
the
maybe.
oldest game? The first game you ever played? Beam MG Drive.
Yeah, BeamNG Drive.
That's the first game you ever played, and that's probably it was probably 4 or 5 when you played that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I haven't heard of it actually. So I'll put this over here. This branch we'll call Halloween Harry. I'll make the text a little bit smaller so we can kind of fit it all in.
You can stretch it. Does that blue dot mean you can stretch it?
Yeah,
perfect.
there we go. And I might delete that node just to clean things up. So if it's Halloween Harry, how are we going to branch this out? What could be a unique idea, a twist that we could put on this game?
A twist on the game could be coming from the opposite perspective. So instead of humans saving babes, it could be an alien saving alien babes from humans.
The word babe reminds me of Bill and Ted so much. Babe. Yep. Okay. And so that's one that could be interesting. Trying to think of what else. So I know we had a little bit of a chat about it. Let's see. Halloween Harry. Well, the other thing is, like, you know, it's all focused around
Halloween.
Yeah, and Hanukkah. Like, I was going to go
Hanukkah
Christmas,
Harry.
but Hanukkah starts with H, right? So
Yeah.
it could be fun to have Hanukkah Harry, right?
As long as you've got a dreidel that you can throw.
Yeah,
Throwing
I mean,
dreidels.
if we make this well, this could be bigger than people watching like a static movie like Die Hard for Christmas, because this would be like the interactive version, right?
Absolutely.
So Hanukkah Harry. Yep.
Halloween Harry had the jetpack. Do we like that's a fun extra feature? Are we going to keep that in? Or
I
are we
think
gonna
we
change
definitely need
something to do with that.
We definitely need the jetpack.
Well, you know what you could do with a jetpack. We need the jetpack. We need the flamethrower. But the flamethrower, what you could do is the flamethrower is the weapon that you can have on all angles, and the missiles can only go forward. Like, we could change the mechanic like that.
Yep.
Yep. So that could be one. Let's see, throw some ideas out. Alex, help us if you can as well. Can you think of any ideas? Shout out if you can.
Got any ideas?
You might need the chat to help us as well, actually.
I'll think.
You'll have a think. Cool.
So if you're going with aliens instead of instead of humans, like, you could do something like, instead of the jetpack, you could have like an anti-grav belt or something. So that's how you move up and down. For your weapons, you could do like lasers and different types of alien weapons.
How would the anti-gravity belt work? Because I was thinking about a different mechanism of switching out the jetpack to change that. How would the anti-gravity belt work?
I was just thinking, instead of like the jetpack where it's like trajectory. So you sort of go up with fuel. You kind of more just hover. So you can sort of jump up a platform, hover maybe at a certain height. You can't go higher than that, but it's hover. So it'll help you get to different levels on the platform, but you can't just keep flying up.
What happens if the aliens started in the losing position? Like, what happens if the aliens were actually half the height of the humans and the humans dominated them and they were like these tiny, cute aliens? And so what happened is one of the scientists that the aliens had to bring them through like a honey, I blew up the kids kind of machine to increase their size. And so that's how they ended up in the second game. But the first game, you're a cute little creature with not many powers. Yeah.
From Mugwai to Gremlin, add water. I don't know, wait, add water is multiply. Feed them after 10.
Yeah, that's right. So it could be like small cute creatures, right?
Yeah. So that would be some of the mechanic of the level, as in you got to start as the small cute creature and you got to find a power up that actually would make you grow.
Like burgers. Like they go in there in and out,
yeah.
So the main character evolves over time.
Yeah. So cool. The aliens are weak, and then they start standing up to the humans, and then they flip the boards because the aliens realize that humans' burgers don't make them gain weight; they make them taller, or something, right? Or stronger.
So the power-ups are burgers, and so every burger you get. So instead of collecting babes, are we collecting burgers?
Could be collecting burgers.
To end the level, you got to collect all the burgers, and then at the end of the level, once you've collected all the burgers, you get your next level power up. So each zone is you power up basically.
Were the aliens vegans? And that's the reason why they were so small is because they'd never eaten meat.
Maybe.
That's the scientific explanation. Is like they were malnourished. And then they started eating meat, and then they just buffed out completely. Okay, so we've got a couple ideas. Is there anything else that we want to float? Like, I want to start some work on it today. We could change the time as well, right? Like, we could make it about monsters. We could make it a medieval. The aliens invade then.
I had an idea that I wanted to run past you that isn't kind of like the whole main theme game, but a couple of days ago, we were talking about Easter eggs, and yesterday I was reading through this Python Pro game, and there's like lots of Python for Pro, and Python Gaming with Python and Pygame, 2 different books, and in both of them, they've got little examples of very simple games. I was thinking like we could hide a little game terminal or a console or something somewhere on a level. And when you go up and click on it, you can actually bring up the screen and then play a game inside a game. So it's your little Easter egg. So I was thinking like Jenkin Bow, like paper, scissors, rock or something like that. So you can play the game loop inside a game until you get sick of that, exit that, and go back to the normal game.
What about that? That's cool. What about for like, because I said it before, but for the theme. For the time, sorry. What about like sort of like a Western time? So this happens in the West.
Cowboys versus aliens.
Yeah, something like that. So all the humans are these cowboys.
Yeah. So
yeah,
the
that could work.
Is it still we are playing the aliens and it's against the cowboys?
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So we start off with these cute little aliens that grow up, and the cowboys are like, it's set in the Wild West, and they're all about shooting them up.
Yeah. So
is it varying too much from the theme, right? Like, I feel like that's multiple twists. So if I was to do Cowboys versus Aliens, it might be Halloween Harry, but with like a barrel strapped to his back, right? And he doesn't have a missile launcher, but he's got like a minigun.
Instead of Halloween Harry, you could do something like Christmas Chris, and all of the bad human guys are actually like Santa Clauses and Christmas elves and stuff like that.
Well, like it could be Xmas Zenoob, right? Scientology.
Yeah. Well, if you want to stick with Hanukkah Harry, then I don't know Hanukkah that well, but some characters from Hanukkah could be the people.
I don't know Hanukkah too well, but I just the name appealed to me.
Christmas Chris. Now it's just making me think of George of the Jungle, which is a whole other. Did you ever play George of the Jungle?
No.
The platformer?
I think so. Yeah.
It was the one where you could swing on the vines to get across the platforms.
Yeah.
So should we change the time or should we keep it not?
I think let's have like 2 more minutes of ideas, and then
and then we'll start
try and hone into what catches. So, so we've got a couple around mechanics, right? Changing the theme. One thing that you could do is
do we just
modernize the
leave
gameplay.
We just leave it as Halloween Harry, but change the time and make it so that they do collect some sort of food. Because if we change the time, then burgers might not work.
When did burgers come?
Collecting.
That was when you were talking about the cute little guys powering up.
No. I mean, when in the human timeline were burgers formed?
Oh,
I thought burgers existed since the start.
I don't know. Who's ever watched a cowboy movie with a burger?
I think you'll find that burgers are a modern invention.
What? Now you'd be telling me pizza's a modern invention.
They are.
All
right, 18. Here you go. 1885 by Seymour Fair in Wisconsin is apparently what? No, okay, that's different. The history of the burger from the ancient Rome. So maybe you're right.
Yeah,
they've been around a long time.
Rome. Yep. They're very different.
Alex has got an
Roman
idea. He wants to tell us something. What is it?
How about
give us an idea.
How about if you collect lava lasers?
Lava lasers?
Yeah.
So where do they come from? The aliens?
Yeah.
So instead of a flamethrower, you're shooting lava?
So when the aliens came down, they lost something scattered or something. I don't know, when they invaded. And they have to collect that to rebuild themselves back up. See, if we change it from Halloween Harry, then we've switched it. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it should be Halloween Harry should stay as the main character.
Yep.
And we just fight aliens. And the aliens have dropped something that's scattered something down. But we just changed the time period. So maybe we still keep it as Halloween Harry, Western
so
edition.
The twist is the time period, not the actual game, any game mechanic or anything.
We could change some things like specifically in the game about what you collect and maybe
not have the horses back. The aliens are obsessed with horses, right? And cowboys need their horses.
I like because
Halloween Harry would now be the cowboy. He's the main character.
Well, is he, or did he travel through time and he's the only one with a flamethrower?
So if you did Halloween Harry, if he didn't travel through time, or if he was sent back in time, he might have his flamethrower at the start, but he's run out of fuel, and then all he's got is like a 6-shooter and a, I don't know,
and he has to collect moonshine to get the fuel for the jetpack.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So we go back to originally saying like this is Halloween Harry. He has been sent back in time, so he has to find olden days ways to power his weapons.
Yeah. So the idea isn't he's collecting babes; he's collecting something so that he can get back to the future.
Maybe in a time machine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, a time machine would be cool. Like I'm thinking not like a phone
Not
box,
like a
like a
DeLorean?
TARDIS. It won't be a DeLorean. I reckon it's going to be like an H.G. Wells, like the time machine type device.
Set
Like one of those
pull the
cool like
dial.
bumper cars from a theme park, right? That you step into and then it
Oh.
magically spins the dial at the back.
If you've got some time to do a what do you call it, the prelude, you could do a little animation showing him at a fair on a bumper car, and then all of a sudden he gets thrown back in time, and that's how it starts.
And so instead of collecting the babes, he's gone back into the past, and there's the parts of the machine have been scattered. So to get to the end of the mission, you need to collect the parts, and there's 20 parts. You bring them all together, builds a time machine, and takes them back to the future. So that's how you get to the end of the game.
Yep. If you did 20 parts, then you could do four main stages and 5 parts on each stage.
Yep. So no collecting horses because he's not old. I'll keep it there just in case. He's collecting his bumper car parts or whatever it is. The aliens were at a circus. The aliens were trying to travel back in time to stop the humans because the humans were winning. So we'll go like humans were winning at this stage.
Yep.
And they shot at him, and it for some reason it caused a power fluctuation with the what do you call it, bumper car system, and sent him back in time.
Yep, and he needs to find those parts to rebuild the machine to go back into the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it just sounds like Halloween Harry meets Back to the Future. He needs to find a lightning strike to power the DeLorean. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's right. He goes through the ages. So who's going to be his Morty, right?
Halloween Harry is a cool character, and having him with a cowboy hat and 6-shooter and stuff, I think is a cool hero for the game.
At the very end of it, he turns into Rick Sanchez. Like he just gets old and bitter. He's invented enough, like pulling all these pieces together, that he's like a mad old scientist.
Come on, Morty, we got to get back to the future, Morty.
Marty. Yeah.
How about if the laser is at the core of the
a
machine?
Laser core?
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the parts can come together to form the core.
So the aliens were shooting at him to get the core of the machine for their laser, but that's what sent them back in time because it created a power fluctuation. And so the aliens are chasing the core of the time machine or the bumper car, and that's why they're after him, because he's trying to collect all the pieces to go back into the future.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if you could never use his flamethrower until the boss fights? And the boss fights, he has like this pipe at a lava pit that he aims at the bosses, and it spurts out of the bosses. So the mechanic of the flamethrower is only used in the boss fights.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Think you'd how to bring lava in. You just put like a giant straw in lava and then aim it.
I'll still because
like a spit gun.
Siphon it out. Yeah, it's not going to burn. I like it, but then that means you're left with like 6 shooters, a whip. What are other weapons you can use for each of the levels?
Well, you remember Wild West, how they had that like minigun in that movie. So like, and I think Cowboys versus Space Aliens, they had that minigun.
Oh, they had that. Yeah, and he had the
thing like that chain. Yeah, you also had
laser.
like the chain gun that you just go.
Yeah,
like because that came around.
That works because then he's got a fallback weapon. So he's got a weapon that if you run out of all your other weapons, it's just a power-up charge. You got to wait a few seconds. You can fire it, but it takes longer. Yep. You can collect ammo for the 6-shooter, and you've got 2 of them, so you've got 12 shots before you need to reload them all. Maybe a whip or a sword or a saber. I don't know. And then the flamethrower for boss fights.
You need a weapon if you run out of bullets. So you need something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The alien laser one you can use without fuel, but it takes time so you can shoot it. You got to wait 3 seconds for it to reload. Shoot it, wait 3 seconds. So it's actually you want to have the powered up weapons because you can shoot them faster.
Yep.
It's like a mini gun, chain gun type thing.
Yeah.
So should we start off like?
Or maybe it's an alien stolen laser sword as a base weapon.
Yeah. Some sort of sword that's not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think would be good.
Because then it's melee weapon. Melee. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So should we start by thinking about like, are you going to completely redraw the character, Matt?
I think we are, unless I can find someone that's done something online. Actually, we lose points if we don't create the art from scratch, so I should probably just do it. Yeah.
So for like, I mean, getting into the code is probably going to, especially as we just start, it's probably going to be not so interesting to stream that. But what might be interesting is thinking about some of the layouts of the maps. So we've got some ideas here that we think we've got a good flow. Should we think about how this might look in tiled and start to lay out some of the way the maps look? And you can give us a quick 101. In the meantime, I download tiled, but a bit of a 101 of like starting to build out some of those maps and how we might share that map amongst the three of us if we're all going to edit it at the same time.
Yeah, can do. Let me try and just fix this out. So if we do that, we don't have tile textures to start with, right? So I
was also thinking that we could we'll put everything in a GitHub repo so that everybody can see and follow along as well.
Yep, that could work. Okay, let me get my screen sharing back. I might just do the full screen.
So while you're doing that, the Discord channel just announced the theme is remake an old game with a twist. So yeah, it's official now. It's up on the Pygame community summer team jam page that the theme is remake an old game with a twist.
Oh, cool.
Matt,
so it's officialized.
I know I've asked it. I've asked it a bunch of times. Can you repaste the actual jam page so that everybody can have?
Here you go. I'll chuck it over in the private if you can read.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, here we go. Cool. So yeah, it's on the page. Nope, that's so cool. Yeah, so the only issue with that is we actually don't have any map textures, so we don't really have tiles to start with. So what we could do is I could work on tiles to begin with, and then we could come back to tiled.
There isn't pre-made ones or anything? Like I don't really know. I've never done this before.
We don't want pre-made ones because we'll lose points.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. And then you'd have to retile the whole map when you produce a new one anyway. What I could do though is we know it's going to be a platformer, right? Like I can work on a color scheme for how the levels should look. How many levels do we reckon we can do? Like
so that
we are limited to a week, right?
Yeah. But if we get the mechanics right, so the first few days we'll be setting up the mechanics for each level. Then it's just a matter of laying out the level itself and then having each where all the platforms are and everything. So there'll be one of us will have to do level design. Maybe Matt after you've done the texture, or maybe Paul can do the level design at the same time as Matt doing the textures and then join them together. But if we did 4, because if you want to go on the idea that 5 things per level, or maybe you're just trying to get to 1 thing per level and then you still only have like 2 levels, so you just need to collect 2 things and then a boss fight at the end. So 2 levels and a boss fight.
Yep.
This is the shareware freeware version, so it's not going to be a long game.
Well, we can have the placeholder art for 4 selectable maps, and then we can just have map 1, and then the other 3 is coming soon. Because I remember half the games weren't even finished. Like,
yes, I remember that.
They'd released just the first map, and then you have to wait forever for the second map. And I think PyCharms just had like a bit of a spaz on me, so I'm just gonna reboot it. I was gonna show you, like, I was really getting into this tutorial last night on making characters and all of that. So we can't use this for the game jam, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of show off. Just wait for it to launch. And I kind of broke out like all the things. So I broke things into classes during the tutorial, and then I had like a weapons one and bullets. I had the level loading one. So yeah, I had like a lot of fun last night.
What if there was 9 levels?
9 levels?
But the last one was you got the core.
At the core. Well, I think 9 levels might be quite a challenge for us. Yeah. It might be too hard for us to build in just 1 week.
I think
it can be the Steam edition.
We do the 2 levels for this week, and then we come back after this week, and if people want to play on, then we can finish the game.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe even if we just to start, do you think it's possible to draw our Halloween Harry character just today, Matt, in the rest of this session?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I know that Aaron's got to go as well.
That's right. I'll drop and you guys can keep going, but I'm good for another 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes even.
Cool. So what I might do in that case, and hopefully we don't get the Hall of Mirrors effect, is one side I'm probably just going to need to have reference for what Halloween Harry looks like. And I just need to find a good version of the character. He's actually quite an ugly looking sprite.
Can you zoom in a little bit closer on him? He's pixel art, so he'll start to pixelate.
Yeah, maximum 500 in the browser.
Okay, but yeah, that's all good. That's fine.
Yep. What I can do is if I shrink this down, so I've also got to work out like what we want the art to look like as well. Overall, like, do we want a very low resolution?
I like the idea of going back to our roots, so like the very pixelated pixel art platform game.
Yep.
Like, no, you wouldn't want it any better than what you can see on the Halloween Harry screen.
I sort of agree with that. So we'd probably end up having like maybe 20 specific tiles that make up the whole game. No more than 20.
Actually, that was like the one brush looks huge, and it's like, well, it's actually 16 pixels. So we don't have much room to work with.
Grass for a field,
and then
a nice sort of old wooden panel that we can use together to make out like shacks and so forth, like a log cabin shacks.
The 3 things that you must have in a Western game are an old cartwheel, a cactus, and a tumbleweed.
we got to have a tumbleweed animation through there.
Yeah.
Because the detailed artwork looks sweet, right? If the cat would stop getting on the keyboard, eh? Here we go. Yeah, like the actual artwork that they did for the game looks awesome.
But that's not gameplay.
We can do that for the box.
Yeah.
Once we've finished it, you can draw a really nice picture for the box, man.
I love where you're going with this, like, because we're fully distributing this, It'll be on a CD-ROM. It'll be in a box. We're going to sell it in stores.
Oh, you have to.
I'm going to have to make a website for this so that we can, display it, and then we can order it online. Absolutely.
And we just call it Western Harry.
Yeah, Western Harry. Hey, that's a great name.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah. It's because it's not Halloween anymore. He's in the West. It's Western Harry.
What I might do is I might try and bring this into Photoshop, actually. I want to zoom in. I want to see how many pixels he is. Where is the zoom? It's hidden behind my webcam. Why is that not letting me zoom? Here we go.
Wonder if we can create some sprites very similar to those aliens, because they'll be the bad guys that we're fighting against. There you go. There's two of the. You see the jukebox? Sorry, not the jukebox. The vending machine with the fire in it. That's your firepower. But you see that safe?
Yep.
That's your little terminal. So we can do our Easter egg game in the little terminal like that. Because it's got the keyboard, it's got the screen. You go up to it, you press action, and it'll bring up a little prompt, a little window.
Wondering if the cat stepped on the keyboard to make this freaking annoying. It's not letting me do anything that I want. Oh, it won't even let me quit Photoshop. What the hell?
So the tiles, like the green ones look pretty easy. It'd be like a green.
Yeah.
That's just green with a little what do you call it? The static filter, and then an edge, and then you just redo them. Because they look like bricks. It'll be the ground ones that were on the screen there will be harder because they look like they're drawn in a way that they actually stitch together.
Yeah.
Oh, you can, slightly see the squares.
I think I just save a copy. It always tries to prompt me to do the stupid cloud save, so I don't care. Wondering why it doesn't let me edit it.
Rights protected. Are you running on Windows?
No, this is Mac. Like I'm trying to use the tools and they just.
I know, Paul. You're laughing, but you have converted me. I'm doing everything in Linux now.
So what's happening? You just can't do anything with your files.
Well, everything's the hand. So, like, I'm clicking on like the pen, right, and
is it key lock down or something?
I don't think so.
Take the cat off the keyboard.
The cat is off the keyboard.
Yeah. And so you can't use you can't select another tool?
No, it just shows the hand. So it lets me click on it and it selects it, but then
so when you're using the marquee tool, you usually have to press spacebar to get so maybe your spacebar is jammed down or something.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're going to use him as a template?
No, what I wanted to get is I wanted to understand what his size was. So when I select this in Photoshop, generally it tells me how many pixels.
Yeah. Down the bottom.
Which down the bottom
left-hand side.
Like it's telling me, yeah. So he's actually quite detailed. He's 87 high, is that right? 85.
Well, it would be that would be 644.80. So
has he got
divided by the width of the height.
He's done well because you can see the very corner of his foot is in line with his elbow, his shoulder. So that means when he gets shot, like we were looking at the other day with the ships, you'll be able to align the rectangle right up to his side, left and right side on both sides.
Does 5 of him make the height of the window? Then you could work it out roughly like that.
No, I just wanted to know the starting pixels. So I'm like, if he's like 88 pixels, we're probably going to have to do a higher res character, right? Which is good. We can put more detail in it. So it could be like we could do 64 pixels because we want to probably cut a little bit of detail out. Let's see if Photoshop's behaving now. So like the zoom definitely worked. And then I would select pencil. Now it's all working.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep, we're in business. Okay, so I might have him as reference just over in the slide up the top. And let's see. So
can you copy paste him in as a layer, and then you can draw over him?
Yeah, I could copy paste him in, but I feel like that's just tracing. Like we want to give him our own little bit of a style. So it's like, you know,
well, you're the artist. I won't.
You're probably right. It's probably easier, but I'm not losing any points on the art.
No worries, because I wouldn't even be able to do exactly what you're doing now.
Yep.
Logic, great. That's my art. I can't do visual.
Like he's kind of like got weird puff pants. It's kind of odd.
Don't forget cowboy boots.
Dude, it was the 90s.
Yeah, we're gonna have to modify him.
Boots.
Yeah, I just wanted to get his shape right first. So like his shoulders are into his head really, but he's got like this big buffy arm that comes down, and then it's about here, right? And then that's all gun. Probably like a bit of a lift there, right? And
are you using your Wacom, or are you using just mouse?
No, I'm actually just using the mouse.
Oh man!
And then
way to make things hard.
No, because I was going to do it all on the iPad.
Okay.
And then he's got his gun, right?
Yeah.
And then like his arm comes around, and then he's basically got like this big buff head, right?
That's it. That's it. That works. That's good.
Yeah, and okay, well, his head's so massive.
Well, it's because he's got a helmet. He's wearing a helmet. Yeah. And that's your jetpack.
It's like that's his jetpack. It kind of goes like that. And his eyes are way back. Like the helmet's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
And then, but his eyes are like here. And then he's probably got like, you know, you might have the other eye here. And then he's kind of got this like
microphone
offset smile.
Okay. I thought that was a microphone.
Or is it a microphone? You might be right.
Yeah, I think it's coming from his. Yeah.
It's like that, right? And we've taken his nose shape out of detail, but we can always do just like a dot that represents his nose, right? Or we could not have the nose at all, which can work for pixel art too.
So how many variations of that would you have to do to make it like run or fire or There's quite a few.
This will be like five frames, right? And there's always like the bit of a cheat way of doing that, and that's kind of like run cycle drawing. So you can kind of follow the lines, but it's all like a weighting to the legs. So if I remember back to game development days, you know, like this leg's way out here, so that leg has to be balanced. And then when they move further in, both of them are closer, and then they're both towards the middle, and then you basically reverse that for the other side of the animation.
But to save time, everything above the waist just stays the same because he's running around with his gun.
Except, is he going to have two shooters? So, like, you need the guns to sort of go up and down.
Well, you
just bob him, right? So the bobbing trick is basically just like moving him, you know, while his legs move.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the torso,
literally it.
The only change to the above the waist will be what weapons he's got. So if you pull out the two shooters, he'll be running like this. If you pull out the flamethrower, you're running like this. You pull out the
and then like what you can do is you can move his body like that as well, or just his arm. So if his arm's a separate layer, you can just move it 1 pixel as he's running. That further creates the illusion of run.
I'm running.
Yeah, so and the other thing is animation is built into Photoshop, if I remember correctly, right? So there's like a keyframe animation software that's in here as well.
Cool.
Is it character?
Photoshop has changed so much since I used it at uni.
No, Photoshop's always had it.
Really? Oh, I never saw it.
Like
I remember
it's just like one of those hidden options. It's like one of those really hidden options.
I remember rotoscoping on film, so taking all of the frames from film and drawing stuff into the frame. But that's like my exposure to Photoshop.
Let's go Photoshop. Animation. Timeline window, that's all we need. It comes down the bottom. Yeah, here we go. So you basically just create a timeline for your character. So each
Nice.
frame, right?
And so does that spit it out as PNG, like side by side?
Yeah, that's right. There was a way to get like that's the timeline that I'm talking about. And then you kind of like, you know, add the next one in, add the next one in. And so
that's cool. Make variations.
this loop. So if I like went in here and I went like let's chop this for frame 2 and then move them. Let's paste that. Yeah, and let's move them like one more out, right? And then we play it. Oops. Oh, has that moved all of them? Oh, man. Photoshop. Stick to this one. Do the changes in this one.
It looks like it's changed.
It's changed all 3.
Yeah, they have to play with it and figure it out. Can you show us what did you said you were playing with it the other day? You had made one, actually animated character.
No, I don't have. I've just got the static one that I had of Paul that I made a while ago.
Okay.
But I know that ASC Sprite kind of more specializes in this, so maybe I'll have a muck around of doing it all in here, because this has the frame stuff baked into it. So you've kind of got like layers you can disable, you can change the opacity. It's got onion skinning, so it's got a whole bunch more animation features in. So I could spend a little bit of time learning this, but also no, the iPad one I did very quickly with the pencil and actually managed to get something up fast. But we'd want to get like the final version of what he'd look like here done first, right? And then break up his body into different layers, and then we can move things around a bit more. So that's kind of like the first step, I think.
So should we just focus a little bit more on getting this guy looking half reasonable?
Yeah, that's right. I'm almost thinking like it might be worth just like sharing updates somewhere as to our progress, like almost like a quick blog or something like that. Because we can do video streams like once a day, but as we do progress, it might be like I might feel like having people watch me stumble through the animations. You might feel like having someone code, but we might be able to have like a little like timeline board or something like that we could map what we're doing on.
Yeah, let's think about something like that. Just a little bit of a quick status updates thing.
Yeah, I'll work around this. Get the animations right. I know, Aaron, you've got to go as well. So maybe what we'll do is we'll
come back to it like later this afternoon.
Yeah, like I've got a customer meeting for the next 2 hours, but after that, I want to start. Like, can we jump back on and let's actually start? Because now that we're free, like let's set up a Git repository. Let's start. Like I obviously am no good at the UI side of stuff, like the graphic side of stuff. But if I can get in and start setting up like game loop and just building out a basic structure with modules or packages that we can start working towards, and we can do that together, and then we can figure out like I'll go and build one thing, Paul go and build another thing, Matt go and build another thing. We can come back tomorrow and keep going on it.
And keep going. Yeah, I think that's what we do.
So we'll touch base at like maybe like 1 o'clock or so. It's about 11 now. Maybe 1.
Yeah, I'll spend some time on colors and the art, and I'll be able to show you guys how I've progressed the next 2 hours.
Yeah. I'll be at my meeting at 1 o'clock. So after 1 is all good for me.
Okay, cool. So you'll have the shooting mechanics all done by then?
By then, absolutely. I'll have the whole the physics engine done. So gravity, everything.
Oh, awesome. Even better. Cool. Well, thanks, Alex, for helping us brainstorm. It's really good having you on again. Feel free to jump in and help us if you want to as well. But Paul and myself, while you're gone, Aaron, we'll set up that GitHub and we'll just make a start on it all.
Awesome. Exciting. It's going to be a week of fun.
See you in a bit, guys.
Catch you guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye.